This chalice lighting is a poem by Joy Harjo. The stuff I need for singing, by whatever means, is garnered from every thought, every heart that ever pounded the earth. The mountains, cities, a whistle leaf of grass, a human bent with loss, will revise the pattern of the story, the song. I take it from there, play through the heartbreak of the tenderness of being, until I am the sky, the earth, the song, and the singer.
I'd like to invite you into a spirit of prayer. Spirit of life, Goddess, God, Holy One, we offer a prayer in this moment to our elected officials that they will hold in their hearts the spirit of lean times, the spirit of success, and the spirit of peace. Let them hold the spirit of lean times so that they do not forget what it is like to be hungry, that they recall at all times there are those who are hungry at this moment, depending on them and their wisdom to come through. Let them also hold on to the spirit of success, knowing that they have succeeded before in helping us meet our challenges, and that we all desire success in this moment. And finally, let them hold on to a spirit of peace, that their work is guided by peace at all times, and that partisanship is secondary to peace. Peace is where we all must dwell in order to be whole. We ask of you these and many other things in this moment, and we ask you to carry them safely in their task. In all of your many names, amen.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea.
I want to begin this message today with something I call an STP moment, a student, teacher, parent moment. And I'm compelled to do this because of three things. Hannah Waters, a sophomore in Georgia who posted video of her classmates not social distancing and raised awareness about the challenges and the real dangers of returning to school in her district. I also am thinking about the president of Princeton University, my alma mater, who just sent us an email as alums saying that they will not be holding classes in person. After thinking it through and after originally announcing that they would be welcoming back 2 classes to alternate through the spaces. And I'm also thinking about all of the women right now who are having to choose family or career or both. And I can't imagine what that feels like, to hold that tension, to hold that responsibility on my shoulders, in my gut, in my heart every day. And so I want to begin by asking us all to say these words aloud or in your heart to all of our teachers, parents, and students. We see you. We hear you. We love you. We are with you. You are not alone. I'm excited that First Parish in Cambridge will work this coming year with the Soul Matters curriculum as the foundation for what we do with worship and RE. Not only does it achieve the goal of keeping our generations in sync, but part of me is excited because, frankly, it makes things so much simpler logistically. It literally will keep us all on the same page as a community, which, considering how challenging the last 6 months has been, will be welcome for everyone, congregants and staff alike. The themes are consistent. There are great resources that have already been gathered. It is a gift of regularity, particularly in a time like the one we face where the unexpected seems to be the norm. I think we all need to find ways to calm our collective nervous systems as we get through the next chunk of time. But beyond the management advantages that Soul Matters presents, I'm excited about what it means for us as a community to do something that is completely intentional with the entire community over an extended period of time. In the spring, I offered a message where I talked about what I believe is foundational to creating and sustaining community: making connection, building relationships, embracing ritual together, and keeping a regular practice of renewing that process and commitment. Doing Soul Matters together is perfectly in line with this, even from an implementation standpoint. We make connection with the material, we build relationship with the process and new relationships with each other through it. We find consistent patterns of engagement that we all share and that will become our rituals. And we will continue to return to these elements and to each other as a practice. It's a win-win. Now, some of you have already been working in small groups with the Soul Matters material, and I look forward to hearing from you during the Sunday chat. Interestingly enough, the theme for this month that those groups are looking at is resilience, which seems most appropriate as families, returning students, and teachers all prepare for the vast unknown of what school will present this fall. The August Soul Matters material begins by asking the question, what does it mean to be people of resilience? It challenges us to not just ask this question, but to tease it out a bit by exploring the idea that many of us think of resilience as a solo project. There's a tendency, particularly among independent-minded, individualistic Unitarian Universalists, to hunker or buckle down and soldier on and get through things without a peep of complaint or question. We value a kind of stoicism, a can-do attitude that speaks of great personal resilience. But the Soul Matters materials call us into a different relationship with this word and remind us that, while resilience has a lot to do with what is inside of us, it equally depends on what is between us. They remind us that we must be a people of resilience. The materials go on to remind us that we survive our pain by having the strength to tell others about it. We find the courage to make our way through the dark only when we sense we are not alone. Internal and individual grit only gets us so far. Empathy, assurance, and love from others gets us the rest of the way. This is the starting point for us that Soul Matters gives us. So the August Soul Matters material talks about an independent spirit versus a communal spirit in relation to how we think of resilience. And I know that this is something that resonates deeply with me. We've all been put through the ringer, quite frankly, in terms of thinking about physical distancing and our fear of infection, and we're tired of processing all of this. So what about a different way to frame things? What about thinking about our sense of resilience in terms of how we could reach out to people to partner with them, maybe creating our own little pods? I have a community of other folks who love their dogs and walk them on a regular basis where I live that functions as kind of my own personal pod. What about having a coronavirus buddy, someone you'll call if you are sick, most importantly, but also someone you might call in case you get anxious? And most importantly, I think we've got to remember our bodies within this whole paradigm of the coronavirus. We have to remember to breathe. A whole different way of thinking about this. Now, another piece of this resilience question involves the fact that resilience is different for different people. Different social locations require different tools for survival based on race, class, gender, ability. And those differences, those different tools of resilience, make us stronger as a society. So we shouldn't be ashamed or embarrassed by needing to affirm our different ways that we draw resilience. We should find ways to not shame each other, but welcome hearing about different ways that people are resilient. And we should welcome the opportunity to share our resiliences, our personal resiliences based on our personal social locations so that we can all be stronger. Another thing to think about is that resilience is imperfect. You know, we spend so much time talking about white supremacy culture, and one of the keys within that structure is perfectionism. And you know what? Being resilient is not going to be perfect. It will be messy, it will be incomplete, it will be late, it will be forgetful, it will be early, it will be tired. Being resilient is not perfect. It cannot be perfect. You will be you. And you know what? There's no shame in that. And there's no failure as well. The goal is to keep trying. And that's where community comes in. Resilience as well is not about being a savior. For all the good that we want to do in the world, we cannot be resilient for someone else. Each of us must find a way to place our resilience in our hearts and then to share it out in the world. If we are surrounded by others who call us into a community of resilience, we can demonstrate ways to be resilient. We have a better chance of finding a place of equilibrium within ourselves. To me, it is another version of the equity model, where instead of water, it is resilience that lifts all boats. As I see it, resilience is the perfect place to start our journey with Soul Matters in this moment. We are all being tested. Nothing has changed since the beginning of the year. This means that really we don't know any more about the spread or transmission of the coronavirus than we did in March. There is no cure, there are no therapeutics, and we don't have universal, reliable, and consistent rapid testing. What's more, racism hasn't changed either. Too many systems are still designed to marginalize people of color, women, and people with disabilities, situation whose devastation predates the coronavirus. And this is all the more reason to begin with resilience. You see, you've actually been that kitten in the hang in there poster, and you didn't even realize it. School was always a challenge to some, and even if it wasn't academically challenging, maybe it was a social challenge or a financial challenge. Maybe it was a physical challenge in not having the accommodations necessary for someone to have full access. Education was already underfunded and underrepresented and undercared for. Many of us have already, in numerous ways, been resilient. What our job is now is recognizing the robust tools we already have and applying them to this new challenge. Sometimes resilience means completely rewriting the script. My hope is that this is what we do as First Parish in Cambridge. Let's rewrite the script. Let's not be satisfied, or worse, proud of being stoic, unemotional, reserved, private, solo. Let's harness the vastly diverse and individual resiliencies in this community and create an ongoing celebration of what it means to thrive through this time. Like we would reach out to each other to sign a petition or attend a meeting or read about anti-racism, let's reach out to each other with the same urgency to tell someone, I need help, or can you listen to me for a while, or I have the time, or let me help you with that. And let's do it with joy as part of our practice of community. This is stuff we can do with or without a global pandemic, by the way, and with or without a racial reckoning. It is the system, connection, relationship, ritual, practice that will keep us strong. Let's lean in to Soul Matters together, and let's begin by asking the question, what does it mean to be a people of resilience? For me, it means two things. First, it means recognizing that we are a people, that we are connected to each other in tangible and intangible ways. Second, it means recognizing that we are already resilient. These two elements work together. Our inner resilience needs the throng of cheerleaders who surround each of us with their own ups and downs, successes and failures of resilience, telling each other at every obstacle and turn, you've got this. So, come on, folks. We will do Soul Matters, and we will face the challenges of public health, both the coronavirus and racism, together. You've got this. May it be so.